Salute Uganda, good evening and a very warm welcome to Chilling. Now, as usual, my name is Drago. Today we have a rare treat for you. I have a special gentleman. He's gonna surprise you. He's a movie director, he's an entrepreneur. At the same time, he made one of the greatest movies that I knew before. Not before this. He made a movie called Superstitions that turned out to be a blockbuster. Now, at a tender age, I know, me personally speaking, at a tender age, I think he got into this whole movie thing by watching cinemas, you know. As a young kid, he went to cinemas and he learned the art of filming. Now, I'm about yet to find out. Now, if you need to get a lot of information to do with films, you don't ask actors. You don't ask actors. You ask such kind of people. He could be, in a few years from now, he could be our own version of Steven Spielberg. If my prayers go right, because this brother is really, really incredibly talented. Now, he has a new movie that is out called Twisted Mind. It's going to surprise you. It's making a lot of airwaves everywhere. Everybody's talking about it, and it's really a great movie. Now, with no further ado, let me introduce to you a superstar in the making. Director, creative director of Aron Motion Pictures. This is Mr. Zziwa. Aron, man. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
No, tell me one thing.
Okay.
Did I get all this right? Did you used to go to cinemas to learn the art?
Okay. By the time when I started watching films, the period the cinemas were not there. When you look at the first cinema, which was like, which we thought was the first cinema, was like kind of Cineprix, and for us, we used to go for outdoor cinemas. Like you can find, you go for the Chinese have organized their own cinema, and then you go and then you have a look at it on a big projector, and then you watch. But I can say our own cinema, the local cinemas, everybody calls Bivanda, but the well modified way, not the kind of ghetto Bivanda.
Congratulations. Twisted Minds. I know it's in theaters. Oh, what should we expect with this movie? I haven't watched it, but I've preached about it like I've watched it.
By the way, it's not yet in theaters.
No.
Yes, but that's exactly that's the whole point of Twisted Minds. It's twisting people's minds. Everybody thinks in theater. Like that's, and I'm getting my story right.
So what is this whole poster thing about? Because I swear I saw a poster with the location, with the pricing and everything.
Exactly.
Are you twisting our minds?
Exactly, that's what we are doing, and it's really twisting people's minds, and we are achieving our goal.
Okay, what are we going to expect with this movie? Is it a thriller? Is it a sci-fi? Is it
it's a psychological thriller film, and that's why it's torturing people's mind, and people think it's already out. Like people come and say, where can we find the DVD? I'm saying, no, it's coming on 10th August, National Theatre. They'll be like, what? We thought it's already in cinemas. I'm like, no, it's not yet there. But that's what we want to make people feel. You feel the vibe, and you'll be like, I think I need to go and watch it. So we are really making our job, and it's really doing great.
Is it going to surpass its consumability, its reception? Is it going to surpass Superstition?
You know, every movie has its own dynamics. When you look at Superstition, it has its own audience. Now, this time around, I'm looking at a different kind of crime besides Superstition. So, but this time around, our targets, like we want to surpass Superstition, and we believe we are going to do so. But so you are right, we are going to surpass Superstition. Yes, and we are going to do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a great movie.
Of course, it's a great movie.
Tell me about your life growing up. Tell me.
Oh, God.
Just a little bit of background. Just a little bit. Come on, pinch.
Oh, God.
About your life growing up. Do you have any siblings? You come from an extended family? Or?
Okay. I have a foster mom. She's called Jackie Gagriamino. She's Australian. And
she's what?
Australian. She
Why?
comes from Australia. Yeah, she's my foster mom.
Oh, she's your foster mom.
Yeah, true.
Okay, yeah.
And then I have my two brothers, Caesar and Ivan. But credit goes to my brother Caesar because when I was young, coming to this whole film thing, he used to get me and take me to cinemas, and we could watch films. So it was his hobby to watch films, but I started adopting the system. So a time came whereby he was taken to boarding school, so I could start also taking myself alone.
I see,
which was
alone.
Yeah. So it was risky.
He's your big brother?
He's my big brother.
Yeah. So you are all adopted?
No.
Yeah.
It's only me who's adopted.
Okay.
Yes. So but when time came along and then he stopped and then me I started taking myself. So this thing started getting me into trouble because I'm young and I'm taking myself to cinema and people didn't money, so they pocket money, I take it to cinema. Yeah. So the hobby started growing. So when I reached a point, I had to turn the hobby into the business.
Aaron, let us first stipulate. Is this the cinema we know or the Bibanda, a local
for the brothers, cinema we know. But the cinema which were there then were like drive-in cinemas.
What do you mean for the brother? You couldn't afford these big cinemas in towns?
I think the locality where we are, there were not this kind of like cineplex.
Where is that?
This place was called Shetco, but I don't know whether it's still
there?
Yeah, we no longer stay there. We shifted a long time ago, you know. So, but
wait, this is in Uganda, right?
Yes, in Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know whether people can really even find it. But
so do you have any sisters?
I have, but half sisters.
So what happened to your real parents?
My parents, my mom died, my dad died, so yeah. So that's why sometimes I don't talk about my background.
Listen, to make this justifiable, me too, I lost my parents. So,
sorry about that.
I know how hard it is.
Yeah, so that's why I said I have a foster mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you never regret growing from that kind of family? Growing up in that kind of family? Is there any regret?
I don't regret because that's why I'm a storyteller. I have a lot of things to tell. You get it? Because I think if I did not grow up in that kind of situation, I couldn't have been a storyteller. Because I have a lot of things where I can tap in every kind of situation of life. That's why people find like my stories are always touchy and they are always real. Because I tell my stories at the point of view of not fiction, but into the reality. Everything I tell, it has the reality. So that's why even sometimes my films have like, this film is based on factual events, not like something like I'm just thought about something out of imagination and I just do it, right? Because it casts the reality. Because
at times I know, because even the movies that we watch from abroad that are made by those film moguls, it's a little bit hard to perceive a thing that is based on true stories. And you're telling me most of your movies are based on true stories.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
your life telling.
Yeah, no, it's not my life telling, but the environment I grew up with, because I always pick, like I can give example. My last film, which I did, I was nominated for Best Director and Screenplay. But you understand that? Yeah. And the lead actress was nominated for Best Actress. But I did that story it's an action thriller film. Action, it's called Breaking. And that movie is based on true story because of the environment I grew up around it. But people, when they saw the film, they thought I copied Hollywood. I told them, no. These things happened.
Wait, I've watched some of your movies. Is that really so much intense, the society where you grew up? Because there's a lot of crime.
Exactly.
There's a lot of, there's so much going around. That's the kind of life?
Now, this is what happens when you look at the people who are there before, even some people right now, the kind of stories they tell, sometimes they're predictable, like mom side, the child side, they are suffering, going through AIDS and stuff like that.
Aaron, which African stories are always the same.
Exactly. But now there's another angle of life which they don't tap in, and that's where I tap in. When you look at Superstition, I did about child sacrifice, but when you look at it the way I told the story, it's an action story, very action story. But everybody was watching the movie like, wow, that's not Uganda. I was like, because you just don't know. There's another angle you know of life, but there's another angle of life you don't know. And that's why I'm bringing this angle to you, and you can't believe, but it exists. The same thing which I did to Breaking, the same thing I did to Wako. And that's why you find like every story I do, it gets nominated. Okay, now one of the greatest challenges I know when it comes to you directors is, first tell me before I go that far, did you study, did you go to school to do film? No, you're self-made? I'm a no film school person. You're self-made? Yeah, but most of the times, like I'll give you an example. I have been like almost like 5 years just being on set, observing things, how they do, because I started as an actor. Then I majored into makeup. Someone just told me, hey, Aaron, today I'm going to do makeup, find a way to do it. That's how things used to be. Just find a way. Film makeup, not just foundation and all. I don't do foundation. Effects, like effects. So that implies you must have had a mentor. Did you have a mentor? So I call them mentor because when you look at workshop, like they say one day workshop, you go because you have to learn.
Yeah.
Then you see how things are done, new things. Then you go for tutorials on Facebook, YouTube. So it's like, I did not go like, I need to get like a professional, it's film.
So you're self-taught.
Yes.
So now, as I was saying, that one of the hardest challenges for directors that face is to perfection. They always want to assume their last project or their current project is greater than the last one. Is it so daunting for you?
No, it's
to make sure that Twisted Minds
it has to be done.
and the movies that preceded it are much. This Twisted Mind beats them.
Okay, this is what happens to me. This is my strategy.
Oh, you even have a strategy.
Yeah, I have a strategy because people who have no vision and go, you can't go anywhere. Someone will just wake up. Let's do a movie. What's the point? No, I just want to do a movie. Then you have no point. Like, you have no goal. But this is my strategy. I did Superstition. I told the people behind the camera and the team and everybody, we have to go to USA and win an award. And we won an award in USA. We have to be in ZIF. We have to win an award home. We have to win. And we won. We almost won like 9 awards, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then when it came to Wako, I told them, yeah, we did Superstition, but this time around we have to go in African Oscars. We went. You understand that? And then, luckily, Superstition, I was competing with Jack Chan. However much, I couldn't win.
Ooh, it went that far?
Yeah, because I was
Which
in
awards were they?
Abuja International Film Festival. I was Abuja International Film Festival.
Nigeria.
That's Nigeria.
Yeah.
So I was with Chinese Zodiac, that's Jack Chan, Kao Wong, Russian Roulette. So, and then I was the only African who was in that category, but I couldn't win.
That was huge, man.
Yeah, it was huge, So that's a strategy. So when you look at a movie which I did, like Breaking, Man in the Hole, I told people, we have a movie coming up, it's called Jobless Millionaire, but we have stories which we have to tell. We can't sit down and wait to do Jobless Millionaire. So I told them, we have to have a strategy. These stories, they are easier to tell. We can tell them as we are working on another big project. And we did the story Man in the Hole. It's about family violence. And then we did Breaking about the woman was trying to run away from the kidnappers in the house, one location.
But your stories, your movies are always so, they have a moral content behind them. Why do you want to teach people about our society and some of the mischief that is around society? Like,
I'm an educator.
You talked about child sacrifice in one of them, and now you're talking about that.
I'm an educator because that's the whole point of film. Because some people, this is the two things: you educate, or you have to let people run out, come and then they watch to be enjoying, and then they run away from all their stresses and they come and laugh and everything. But what's my goal? Because when you look at today's society, the biggest number is the youth. And then how can I start communicate to the youth about the daily things which are happening to them? Because if I go in an NGO way, like it's a direct message, believe me, even me, I myself, I won't watch that film. Because I will automatically know it's an educational film. But to me, the way I do action and I put the message behind hidden, I had the message. But I know by the time you finish up the movie, you will get the message.
So you think that's the kind of content that...
Exactly. I combine entertainment and a message, because I have to have a message. Because if I don't have the message, that's not my goal.
So you went to Abuja, you have been to Nigeria before. What is your say about Nigerian content trying to phase out into the Ugandan film industry? Because in the beginning, it was worse. You could only just see Nigerian films.
That's true.
But now you're sort of, I think, doing a great job.
Yeah, exactly.
You're fading it out. What has changed?
This is what happens. When we went to Nigeria, we talked with a gentleman called Osokeje. He's a big, he's a big brand in Nigeria. And we talked to the film commissioner, he's called Olize Gunze. Right now, he's a film commissioner in Nigeria by that time. And we asked them, like, why are you so much in all over the world? Do you know what they told us? Because we are aggressive. That's all. We are aggressive. If you organize a festival at your home and there's a word, we shall come. And shall come and be part of your festival. Why? In Nigeria, we will be a producer and hire a Ugandan director and a Ugandan cast. And they submit that they will flow in the festival. That's how aggressive they are. They are aggressive. So what we realized, we said we are so much into our comfort zones. We have to wake up. The only way to outcompete Nigerians, we have to wake up. That's why you're seeing like now we have a lot of content trying to push out the Nigerians. And good enough, the Nigerians now have good films. Now the budget's almost like 1 million plus budget.
Yes, because the GDP actually contributes a lot.
Exactly.
The industry contributes to their GDP.
I think it's the second from oil.
It's the second entertainment.
Yes.
But this is the thing that I think our government is keeping out to understand, is that if you're making a movie, of course there has to be a person who's going to do light, there has to be a person who's going to do makeup, and they're all paid. There's the generators that are going to use, the locations and all that. And you're supporting the economy. That's tax.
This is what happens.
Why can't a government put the strategies sort of like pawns which can support and surpass the industry?
I think the system is wrong. I think, because I can give you an example. Sometimes you go to the ministry of like in government, which are maybe I can give you which ministry is under film, and then you talk about film, and you find like people there don't understand that even we exist, even because they still have this belief like films like you know when they used to say music is only for certain people, and then when they come to realize like music it can create money. You understand the point? Now it's the same thing with film. They take film like a kind of hobby, but if they really understand it, film can really change the Uganda's economy. Because you try to talk about film, the only thing they talk about oil, maybe agriculture, roads, but they skip this part.
Check this out. We are going to have a breather. I'm telling you, Aron Zziwa arguably is one of Uganda's most interesting movie directors, and he is so hopeful when it comes to that. And now we are going to take a breather. We are going to return with the second part. We are still talking about the film industry in general. Now, one of the things that I noticed with our industry is that we're becoming sort of still. We are regurgitating the same people. And us at Chilling, we're so fascinated with new conversations with people that are telling, great stories and new faces. And Aron is one of them. So we are going to return shortly after this commercial break.
The Airtel 4G smartphone is here, and now you can experience the real power of 4G speeds for just 200,000 shillings, and also get 5 GB free data every month for 3 months and free 4G SIM card. Now that's value for your money. The Airtel 4G smartphone is available at authorized Airtel outlets countrywide.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
As we were in a commercial break, this gentleman told me that the Tanzanians call him a special kind of name. They call him the king of guerrilla
filmmaking.
Guerrilla filmmaking. Yeah. I'm about to find out what does that even mean.
Okay,
is that a title you earn? How did you?
I do guerrilla filmmaking because I do films, low budget films, and then they go boom, like boom. So. One time when I was in Dar es Salaam, and then I was trying to tell them like how do I go about that production, and then I do great films because they were surprised like I do low budget, but the movies always have that kind of big name and everyone's looking for it, and then I explained everything.
Just because I've never known your budget. I don't know, maybe you have a secret sponsor somewhere that flashes in too much money. I've never asked you about the budget.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
So in the end of the day, so when I explained everything, they say like, you know what? You are the king. You are the king, So that's how the name King came up.
So, growing up or getting started, was there like a particular event or a particular time in your life that inspired you to start making film?
No. Because I wanted to be a footballer. I had few things. I wanted to be a mechanic, I wanted to be a soldier and a footballer.
But you can still be a footballer.
No, I can't, because
You're not
now
old enough.
I'm not old, but now going back to the pitch, running around, training, wake up in film, it has overtaken my blood now. It's really hard.
Something that people don't know, guys, making a film is so much time consuming.
Exactly.
So much time consuming. You know, people can, in Hollywood, I don't know about here, you will tell me. In Hollywood, I know there are movies that they can make at least for 7 years.
It can happen. I'm doing a movie, this is my
What
second
has been
year.
the longest one?
Here in Uganda,
Yeah.
Spying on Susanna was done for 7 years. Spying on Susanna.
Spying on Suzanne?
Yeah, it was done for 7 years in Uganda.
What?
Yes, it's there. It's directed by Robert Nkambo.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a movie. This is my 3rd year. I'm just in script editing, and then I shot the trailer, and I'm to pre-production. But this is my 3rd year. Next year is gonna be my 4th year. I haven't touched it.
What?
So it can happen.
It's crazy.
So yes,
It's so much time
yes. The
consuming.
another which I shot last year, and then it's coming up in 2019. So we give it time because that's why you find like it's less budget, but it
How
can be.
can you tell, what are some of the attributes that you as a director can tell that, you know, I think the other guy is another great director? Are there like particular attributes somebody should have?
Okay, this is what happens most of times. You look at the work, because we look at the work all in general in Ugandan film. So you may find like we have a lot of work, but you find like the good films are few. Why? Because when you submit to the like a good example, Uganda Film Festival, you find like there are only like 10 films which are all over every category. You understand? What does it tell you? Those are the only good films which you have seen. Those are good, but they are not better than these ones which are available. So when you go and say, okay, why is this film has 9 nominations? You get to tell why.
But it's the same thing with Oscars. Have you watched Oscars?
Yes.
You find a movie like Dunkirk being nominated for Best Picture, it has Best Director, it has supporting role. It's the same thing, I think.
Yes,
Great work always
yes,
surpasses,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So that one we can't omit.
You can't omit
There are
because
some movies that are better than others.
you know, this is what happened to directors. Every director says my movie is better than any personal movie. But when it comes to judgment, that's when you see the reality.
UCC has awarded you with so many awards.
Yeah, actually there are 2. When I was nominated several times, but and I'm lucky. Every year when I'm nominated, I always nominate best director.
What is the regulation they follow? I mean, first of all, nominating you, and then secondly, awarding you. Is it the people that vote? Or is it like a committee, a tribunal of people that vote?
I don't believe in people's votes most of the times, because people can just vote because they like someone. I like judge votes because judge selecting, because they select because they know this is supposed to be good. Someone can just like you and then just nominate you in any category because just like you and then you go. You know.
What are the qualities of a good judge to judge somebody's
They
work?
have to be
Are they white
okay.
people that come in?
No.
Those-
Like they used to fry in Femi Ogubeni. Is a Nigerian film director. Is good. And then last year we had Sister Dupio. She's a lecturer at Makerere. And then the late John Sengendo. Also, he was the judge last year. And then who? Forgotten. And judge from Burundi. So those people, when you look at Sister Dupio, she's a scholar. Film. She looked film as art, and she has to understand where's the creativity. Yeah, is the sound on point? Is it the director on point? So they look at it at the art format. But other people, the audience will just look at it. Oh, this person did something good. But will the audience look at sound?
Okay, now let's break it down. What are some of the qualities of a good movie, according to you, as a director?
Everything has to be good. Simple.
Like what?
Everything has to be simple.
What?
You
Like
have to what is the creativity of the director? Is the sound the director like the sound on point, sound design, like the story is it good? Like why did you choose to take that story on? Yeah. Because not every director wants to be a director, but sometimes they want to take on good stories, because a good story is a good story. And how do you transform that good story into a reality? You understand? Because if you can transform that story into the reality, away from the writer's perspective to your perspective, you understand? How do you transform the bad actor into a good actor? Like, okay, he's a good actor, but what value do you add on that actor? Like, you and the DOP, how do you communicate to get the best picture out of that? That's the lighting. Like, is the lighting matching your feel? You understand? Like, the set design, is that what you have in your mind? Like, it's a lot of work.
Brother, preach. And
It's
the
a
way how
lot
you're
of
doing your
work.
arms, it's like you're so convinced with whatever you're talking.
Yes.
I like that confidence.
You understand that?
I like
Yes.
the confidence.
Yes.
Carry on with it. So you spoke about casting. which is one of the hardest thing to do, finding the right fit. It's like finding
Exactly.
a glove to fit the eye.
I can give you an example.
How do you handle the cast? And if some of them become like some of them are brands, right? Because they are seen on screen. If their ego maybe becomes a problem, how do you tame them down? How do you make them work and follow your rules and follow your
Let me
systems?
tell you one thing. A director is a director because you're a brand, but the director is the one who knows how it's gonna make you to have more value to add on your brand. So when you think you are bigger than the director, since the producer is the one who fires, the director will say either I quit or you let him go, because it's the person around or the creative, even you. The only thing you have to do your job as an actor. Forget about your brand. Now the director is the general of the set. I want you to do this. Yes, your brand, but I want you to do this. That's why you find like if they have those like creative differences, the director just walks away.
What do you do about that when it comes in front
Now,
of you?
me, people call me a nonsense director. Why? I don't care about your brand.
No-nonsense director.
Yes, I don't care about your brand. What I care about is, are you giving me what I need?
Your physicality, has it come in your way of doing things? Because you're not a very tall, bold gentleman.
This is what happened.
By the way, Matt Bish is up there in the sky.
Yeah.
Can that bring chances of people maybe starting underestimating you?
No one has ever underestimated me. For one thing, my work speaks for myself. Everyone, whenever I say I'm a director, I'm like, but I've never heard you. Yeah, Google me. When they go to Google me, that's when they get to know, like, be like, I want to work with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Coming soon is
Twisted Minds, 10th August.
Now it's everything that everybody should be buzzing about. Thank you very much for being a fabulous audience. And Zziwa, thank you very much for giving me your time.
Yeah,
man, this has been a pleasure. I liked his conversation. He's a great man. I want to thank Henry. I want to thank Herbert. I want to thank Tony, and I want to thank the whole UBC fraternity for being there for this program. And this program always airs on Tuesdays and repeats on Sundays. That is Tuesdays 7:30 and Sundays 9:30. So care enough to catch the program, and the hashtag was Chilling UBC TV. See you guys next time. Thank you very much.